Hello, beautiful people. Welcome once again to your favorite Friday delight. I'm talking about Africa Diary, a program designed to inform as well as update you on the week-out occurrences and the latest events which are still trending in the running week. My name is Ajara Tijani, your anchor icon, and this week I have so much to share with you on the go. I mean, go. Okay, is for those people that might actually want to go by the phonetics, go, okay? Now, there are two goes in the world. Either you go pro or you go broke. So this is an inspiration to every one of us. Anything you're doing, make sure you go pro on it. Find out that you grow to the level of professional on any field you found yourself, or you go broke, because if you're not doing it right, you go broke. And if you go broke, my dear, you are gone. I'm sure you don't want to go, okay? All right, now when we're talking about gone, phew, United States election has come and gone. Or should I say gone? I better keep my fingers crossed lest trumpeters blow my poor ears or I be sued. All right. Anyways, we join multitude of people and fans across the globe to congratulate Mr. Biden for the sweeping victory in the United States election. Already many African leaders are congratulating and celebrating Mr. Biden and his running mate, Kamala Harris, the first African-American woman to occupy the lofty position in the United States of America, for that matter. This is actually a big one and a plus for Africa, and of course, no doubt, it's something that really calls for celebration. This is Africa Diary, and once again, it's reaching you from CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. My name is Ajara Tijani. Welcome once again. Africa Diary is the program, and we are in Somaliland. Djibouti Agriculture Minister arrives in Somaliland. A delegation led by the Djiboutian Agriculture and Livestock Minister Mohammed Ahmed Awali has landed in Hargeisa, the capital of Somaliland. The delegation was received by Somaliland government officials including President Musabi Abdi, Minister of Agriculture Ahmed Momin Said, and Minister of Water Mohammed Mose Dirie. The two sides have discussed way of strengthening cooperation between the two countries. This, of course, is the second delegation from Djibouti to arrive in Somaliland within a month. Welcome back. Africa Diary is the program. Once again, my name is Ajara Tijani. You know how we do it. We start from the home front here in Somaliland. Now, Somaliland journalists spoke out challenges to freedom of media. Somaliland media commemorates the death of veteran journalist Ahmed Hassan Auke every year. On the special day, Somaliland journalists have talked about the current situation of the country's media and challenges it faces. Let's see the report and we'll be back.
Somaliland is regarded as one of the few countries in the Horn of Africa where the media is free to speak, although there are many who are questioning in recent times. Some Somaliland journalists who spoke to CBA have highlighted the current situation of the freedom of media, challenges it faces and where they want Somaliland media to reach for the coming years. Faisal Muhammad Adam is an experienced journalist who is based in Hargeisa and has worked in the field of broadcasting for the last decade. He talks about the different situation that Somaliland media has gone through.
runtii saxaafaddu waxay soo martay maraaxil kala duwan markaynu ka hadlayno bilowgii koobaad iyo marxaladii ay ka soo bilaabantay.
Indeed, Somaliland media has gone through different situations. The current situation is different from the first stage. Although there are many journalists who joined in the field many years before me. To my experience of the last decade, what I know is that there is a tremendous change to the media of Somaliland.
wartabinta haday noqoto dhankii farsamada, haday noqoto wariyaasha aqoontoodii, haday noqoto xirfadihii kala duwanaa.
Saeed Adam Chama believes that the media law, which the parliament has not yet approved, is among the obstacles to the media.
caqabadaha maanta saxaafadda Somaliland haysta aynu oran karno maanta way hortaagan yihiin bahda saxaafadda.
One of the obstacles is the media law, which has not yet been approved by the parliament. If the law were approved, it would be of great help to freedom of speech in the country.
meel marin lahaa waxa saxaafadda Somaliland u fududaan lahayd in xadgudubyo badan oo hadda saxaafadda Somaliland ku dhaca runtii ay ka badbaadi lahaayeen.
On Wednesday, Morodijah Regional Court in Somaliland sentenced the owner of Astan TV, Abdimanan Yusuf, to 5 years, fined 2 billion Somaliland shillings, and also punished the TV station from operating in the country.
Now we're in Somalia. Something very funny happened last week when a young man came to CBA TV for a special interview. What was his request? Of course, he wanted to see and meet President Farmajo one-on-one. What he wanted to say and why he wanted to see the president, we did not know. But he kept on pressing and see what happened. Somalia President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo has met with some of the Somali youth to discuss their role in rebuilding the country, strengthening governance, leadership, and community development. Mu'ad Hussein, whose story was broadcast by CBA, Somali Service, requesting to meet with the president, among those reviewed and received by the president in his office. Let's get to see the report.
Somalia Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble has appointed 25 members to the Federal Elections Committee to oversee the upcoming elections. The Office of the Prime Minister released the list Thursday. The Prime Minister also appointed a similar number to form the Electoral Dispute Resolution Mechanism. The appointments come about 2 weeks past the deadline set by the National Consultative Council in September. The Federal Elections Committee will have the overall mandate of conducting the elections in coordination with the state-level Elections Committee. The latter are appointed by the respective federal member states Among those appointed to the Federal Elections Committee include Fila Somalia Deputy.
Welcome back from that report, and now we are in Ethiopia. Now, we pray peace and tranquility, come back to Ethiopia. So much is actually going on in that region. Now, Tigray leader asked AU to intervene in Ethiopia conflict. The leader of the Tigray region in northern Ethiopia has called on the African Union to intervene to stop the country from spiraling into civil war. Of course, Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed insisted on launching offensive on the northern region Tigray, while the Ethiopia's Minister of Defense, Kenye Yedeta, on Wednesday denied allegation that Eritrea is assisting Ethiopia in the fight against Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, in the Tigrayan region.
The Tigray People's Liberation Front has issued a statement saying that Eritrea's military is also supporting the Ethiopian army. This is a complete lie. The army does not need any further support to defeat this group. This military has the ability to carry out its mission without any foreign support.
The statement comes after the Tigray president on Tuesday accused Eritrea of attacking his region at the request of Ethiopia, saying that the war has now progressed to a different stage. Up to 200,000 refugees could pour into Sudan while fleeing the deadly conflict, officials said on Wednesday. While the first details are emerging of largely cut-off civilians under growing strain, communication remained almost completely severed with the Tigray region, a week after Ethiopia's Nobel Peace Prize winning Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced a military offensive in response to an alleged attack by regional forces. He insists there will be no negotiation with the regional government he considers illegal until its ruling clique is arrested and its well-stocked arsenal is destroyed. Reports grew of the targeting of ethnic Tigrayans across Ethiopia, the Tigray Communication Affairs Bureau said in a Facebook post. Welcome back from that report, and now to the election, especially post-election issues. Now, the election of Tanzania has come and gone, no doubt about it, with a victory to the incumbent president. But the opposition leaders are facing a lot. Now, the main opposition leader, Tundu Lissu, breaks silence on why he fled Tanzania. Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu has cried out that he received death threats that prompted his departure to Belgium. Earlier, he said he had taken refuge at the German ambassador's residence in the commercial capital Dar es Salaam after receiving death threats following a disputed election. Mr. Lissu said the security given to him when he was a presidential candidate was withdrawn after election results were announced and he started receiving death threats. He claimed that he was called by people who said that an order for them to deal with him once and for all, as they put it, was out, and therefore they advised him to run for his dear life.
I left Tanzania because my life was in danger. Soon after the results of the election, the so-called election, were announced, the police protection that I had during the campaign was removed, and immediately I started receiving death threats, at least on 2 occasions. I was called by people who said that the order for them to deal with me once for all, as they put it, was out, and therefore they advised me to run for dear life. That's exactly what I did. Well, for someone who survived 16 bullet shots from assassins in 2017, I would have been a fool not to take these threats seriously, because it happened. It's happened before. I'm a survivor of a multiple assassination attempt. Well, they did not identify themselves, but clearly they made me understand that they were from the intelligence and security apparatus. No, I'm not seeking asylum. I spent 2.5 years here. I'm a legal resident of Belgium. I have no reason to seek political asylum. But more importantly, I'm here because I want to continue the fight. The world needs to know about what has happened to Tanzania these past 5 years, and what the future, what this election portends for the future of Tanzania and the Great Lakes region. And this story needs to be told by someone who understands it and who better to tell that story than myself. Well, I will not be the first person to struggle from outside their country. The list of people who went to exile, who continued the fight in their exile, is long. And in fact, it has happened throughout human history. I will not be the first. I will not be the last. I will continue the fight wherever I am. The struggle is not only inside Tanzania, it is also an international struggle. And I am opening a page or a chapter of the international struggle. We were not defeated at the polls. We were defeated by organized criminals who used the resources of the state to steal the elections. International observers, the AU observer mission in Tanzania, observed stuffed ballot on some locations where they visited. This was a stolen election. Magufuli did not win an election. He was just declared the winner by people who organized the theft of the election on a nationwide scale. Well, Chadema will survive the dictatorship. The 5 years that ended with this general election saw us going through absolutely horrible persecution. Our people were killed. We were sent to prison. I was nearly killed. Our people were terrorized for 5 years, and we survived it. This is the latest phase in the struggle for democracy. We will go through terrible trials and tribulations ahead because Magufuli's administration is going to be what it has been this past 5 years. Absolutely dictatorial, absolutely draconian in its approach to the democratic opposition. So we'll go through terrible days ahead, but we will survive the dictatorship. We will emerge victorious at some point in the future.
Mr. Lissu said he was a legal resident of Belgium and wanted to continue with the fight internationally. Now to Kenya. Kenya offers easier entry terms to Somalis in a bid to improve trade between them. The Kenya government has announced they are starting easier entry terms to Somalis nationals to strengthen trade between the two countries. Relations between Somalia and Kenya have been strained in the past few years, with Somalia halting large quantities of cat imports. The federal authorities accuse the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF), which has held power in the state for close to 3 decades, of launching multiple attacks on the military. The TPLF, in turn, said they couldn't ignore the imminent danger. On Wednesday, an army base was taken over by forces loyal to the regional government of Tigray.
The National Defence Force that has been in the bunkers for the past 20+ years, defending its people and the country by paying heavy sacrifices with its blood and flesh, has been attacked this evening in Mikele and many other places by traitors and the force they organised.
International calls for the de-escalation of tension seems to have been ignored. The federal government has already declared a... There's no denying the fact that coronavirus has dealt a big blow on the entire world, especially African continent, with many economies paralyzed and so much more hindered. Now, in South Africa, which seems to be the largest cases registered across African continent, many things are happening, especially the international airports being shut down and many more. Now, the report coming from there says South Africa lifts ban on international travel as virus death toll tops 20,000. South Africa on Wednesday opened its borders to international travel over 7 months after port of entry were closed to non-essential travel prevent the spread of coronavirus.
More than 51 million people have been infected globally, and at least 1.2 million people have died. Many countries are in the midst of a second wave of infections, which has often been more severe than the first. What we are seeing brings home a very difficult truth, that COVID-19 is far from over. It is very much still here, and it will remain with us for some time to come.
President Cyril Ramaphosa said in a speech to the nation that visitors will be required to follow relevant health protocols. He said businesses in the tourism and hospitality sector will greatly benefit from the lifting of the ban on international flights. He said they are also opening up international travel to all countries subject to the necessary health protocols and the presentation of a negative COVID-19 certificate.
For more than 2 months now, yes, the virus has declined significantly. And as it has declined, we have also been praised by many people around the world. We should be proud of our response as a nation, which has been widely recognized and been commended. As we transition to a new phase in our response, the only way forward is a rapid and sustained economic recovery. We are therefore working to enable all parts of our economy to return to full operation as quickly and as safely as possible. We are amending the Alert Level 1 regulations to restore normal trading hours, for instance, for the sale of alcohol at retail outlets. We are also opening up international travel to all countries subject to the necessary health protocols and the presentation of a negative COVID-19 certificate. Now, by utilizing rapid tests and strict monitoring, we intend to limit the spread of the infection through importation by those who will be traveling to our country. We expect that those measures that we are going to take will greatly assist businesses, particularly in the tourism and hospitality sectors. We are focusing relentlessly on the implementation of our plan, pursuing a few priorities with the highest impact and ensuring that we deliver on these.
He also extended the national state of disaster until December.
Continues to gather pace.
Okay, back from that report, we're still in South Africa, but on a different dimension. Of course, while the whole world was jubilating about the victory of Mr. Biden and his running mate, Kamala Harris, of course, some people, instead of jubilating about, the victory of Joe Biden, they're actually celebrating the loss, should I say, the loss of Mr. Trump. You know what I'm talking about? Mandela Foundation celebrate Trump's departure. The Nelson Mandela Foundation has celebrated the end of Donald Trump's presidency and urged President-elect Joe Biden to fix the problems of racism, xenophobia, sexism, and Afrophobia.
Mimi John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na nitalinda na kuitetea katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania ilivyowekwa sheria. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
More than 12 countries have been represented at the ceremony, as well as delegates from the African Union and the Southern African Development Community. Mr. Magufuli took the oath of office at a sports stadium in the capital, Dodoma, with crowds streaming in from early in the morning. A government spokesman has tweeted photos of the ceremony. Mr. Magufuli won 84% of the vote in a poll rejected by the opposition as fraudulent. His main rival, Tundu Lissu, got 13% of the vote. The Election Commission denied that the election was rigged.
Nafuata ni kukabidhiwa ngao, tukio ambalo linafanywa na Sheikh Ali Hamad Bakari kutoka Zanzibar.
Government spokesman has tweeted photos of the ceremony. Mr. Magufuli won 84% of the vote in a poll rejected by the opposition as fraudulent. In case you're just joining us, this is Africa Diary, reaching you from CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. Of course, we've toured around East Africa, and of course, we've been to South Africa and the North. Right about now, let's go to the West and see what's happening there. Majorly, we are, landing in Ivory Coast. Ouattara meets opposition for talks on Ivory Coast election crisis. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara has met with a main opposition rival on Wednesday with a promise to pursue talks aimed at calming a standoff over the October 31st election, which has ignited clashes, killing scores of people. Ouattara met with opposition candidate and former President Henry Konan Bédié in Abidjan. The election handed Ouattara a third term, which some affirm violates a two-term constitutional limit. It was the first meeting to break the ice and restore trust, said Ouattara. Both Ouattara, 78, and Bédié said the meeting was an important first step, but did not indicate that they had made any concessions. Bédié, 86, said, "In the days and weeks ahead, we will call each other and meet so that the country becomes what it was before." Ouattara was declared victor of the election with more than 94% of the vote, which was boycotted by the main opposition. Up to 85 people have been killed in the clashes that ensued after Ouattara decided to run for a third term. More than 8,000 people have fled the country to seek refuge in neighboring states, fearing the violence last seen after 2010 election, which killed more than 3,000 people, could reignite again. Welcome back from that report. Africa Diary is the program, and that's how far we can tour around African continent on today's episode of the program. You know how we do it? We'll go and see the treasure of African people. I'm talking about Proverbs, and then we'll be back again. You've learned one or two things from that package, especially the African proverb. If you have any proverbs that you feel we should feature on this program, jolly you well to drop it on the comment, and then we will do something about it. We're definitely going to feature it. And tell us your name and where that African proverb is coming from. Whichever country it is, be rest assured that we're going to feature it on the program. All right, Africa Diary is the program. My name is Ajara Tijani. Please subscribe, follow, and then comment on the program. If there's any suggestion or any observation that you feel would improve the program, please jolly you well to do that. Until next week, that will come your way. Keep watching CBA TV, the voice of East Africa and beyond. Bye-bye. Until another time.